Low in war with New York Times. Former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin allegedly will be making sure that 23 active and previous New York Times reporters and editors will be issued subpoenas as a portion of her defamation lawsuit against the fake news organization. The famous former governor of Alaska is suing the Times for defamation over an article which connected one of her political ads to the attempted assassination in 2011 of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. Advertisement. Now the newspaper's lawyers are begging the judge to kick out the case, whining that Palin's lawyers are wanting to subpoena 23 non-party current and former Times reporters, editors and other employees, most of whom had little to nothing to do with the op-ed that is the center of the case. Palin's lawyers are adamant about attaining relevant documents that will show the Times' negative publications and feelings against her. Palin also demands that the net bring out every communication they have delivered to each other since 2011. Advertisement. In an effort to eliminate the case, the Times said there was no actual malice contained in the June 14 op-ed. They were quick to correct the issues after their consumers complained. The newspaper said it's very dedicated to the full fix of the op-ed that said that Palin's political action debunks her claims in the case. Palin sued the Gray Lady in Manhattan federal court last month, saying the newspaper had accused her of inciting the mass shooting that severely wounded then Arizona Rep. Giffords. She sought unspecified damages. The editorial in the Times was prompted by the recent shooting of Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise at a baseball practice attended by Republican lawmakers in Alexandria, Virginia. The best part of this is watching the New York Times flail around. They don't seem to realize that there are ramifications to putting out fake news. What do you think of Sarah Palin suing the Times? Do they deserve? Breaking: Jeff Sessions will treat sanctuary cities like criminals. The Justice Department, led by Attorney General Jeff Sessions, is now going to treat sanctuary cities the way they deserve to be treated, like the criminals they are. Robert Hur made a statement against sanctuary cities Thursday, speaking on the threat of criminal gangs like MS-13. Finally, we are also holding sanctuary cities accountable for their lawless conduct, Hur told reporters at a White House briefing Thursday. The Attorney General will not allow sanctuary cities to become sanctuaries for criminals. Advertisement. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency top dog, Acting ICE Director Thomas Homan, also chimed in at the meeting and called the cities a criminal's best friend. Homan was very adamant about ICE doing what they need to do to enforce the laws on the books regarding illegal immigration. He even brought up the future border wall as one more tool in the toolbox. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is a very devout supporter of enforcing the immigration laws, is very adamant about punishing sanctuary cities. He is vowing to withhold millions of dollars in federal funds originally directed to those cities. Advertisement. This is what the American people should be able to expect from their cities and states, Sessions said, adding that the measures are long overdue requirements that will help us take down MS-13 and other violent transnational gangs, and make our country safer. This is exactly what we needed. We need the liberals to learn their place, and they need to learn that their social experiments have no place in American law. Illegal immigration is illegal. I'm not sure how that is so confusing for the left. Law is law, don't break the law. There is a reason loads of criminals or liberals, they don't think the laws apply to them. It's actually quite pathetic. What do you think of Jeff Sessions being a driving force behind getting rid of the sanctuary city? Gowdy fires the shot heard round America after Obamacare repeal fails. Gowdy is not happy, and he has a tremendous message for the Republicans that the Democrats would be well served to listen to as well. The Republican congressman from South Carolina and the chairman of the House Oversight Committee cut right to the heart of the matter. Advertisement. Our problem is for 7 years we've been telling folks what we're against and what we're opposed to, and then we've had 7 months to govern, and the best we can come up with is a scanny plan on 24 hours notice? He asked in amazement. We've got to get better at telling people what we believe, why we believe it, Gowdy continued, and then persuading them it's right for the country. We've had plenty of time to do it. We set unrealistic expectations and then we never meet them, which leads to anger and frustration. We've had 7 years to figure it out and the best we can come up with is something called skinny. Thre's funny too? That humor will serve him well should he choose to run for higher office. You must be funny if you want to win these days. Advertisement. Brian Kilmeade of Fox and Friends then jumped in and asked Thre the key question, where do we go from here? Should you just move on or go back? Thre shot back, we've got to go back. It impacts 20% of the economy. It was a fundamental promise of the Trump campaign. The Affordable Care Act is failing. If you're going to fail, though, fail doing what you really fundamentally believe. The health care. I would propose changes that are transformational. And it's going to require persuading my fellow citizens, including some independents and Democrats, that this is best for the country. Then Thre concluded with another few hilarious jokes. It's not going to be done with 24 hours notice and a bill that has the word skinny in it. It's hard to persuade people, I get that, I used to have to do it for a living, and I'm married. Share if you agree with Thre. Melania drops everything for sudden solo international trip after getting bad news. Melania Trump is going on her third international trip since becoming the First Lady. She will visit Toronto in September in order to attend Prince Harry's third Invictus Games for Wounded Warriors. Also, she will lead the U.S. delegation which is consisted of 90 athletes to compete in the Games. They will compete in archery, powerlifting, swimming, etc. It will be fun to attend this event. Melania's husband President Donald Trump won't be by her side. This will be the first time she's going somewhere alone. We never saw something similar from former First Lady Michelle Obama. Freedom Daily reports the announcement of this particular trip could haven't been more ironic and perfect. Just hours ago, President Donald Trump sent out one of his most infamous Twitter messages yet, sending liberals in America into a complete meltdown. Early Wednesday morning, he let every citizen of our nation know that transgendered individuals would no longer be allowed to serve in the military. Melania's decision to travel alone came right after Trump announced on Twitter that the United States will no longer accept or allow transgender people in the military. Trump knows what he's doing and this decision was made in the best interest of our country. People who are serving in the military should be healthy and to have a good state of mind in order to work their job properly. Freedom Daily reports we're in volatile times right now with the Islamic State on the rise, more frequent terrorist attacks, and North Korea threatening to use a nuclear weapon on America. Our military is the backbone to our freedom and needs to be top-notch in defending all that we hold dear, not used as a social experiment where people experimenting with a new gender can go to make a political point. This important policy change opened the doors for a new wave of attacks on the Trumps, just as it seemed to settle a little bit for both Donald and Melania. The news about Melania's trip in September couldn't have arrived in a better time. At least people now will focus on her for a while rather than the president's transgender ban. Although Melania is an immigrant, she has more love and respect for our military than Michelle ever had. She constantly shows that she appreciates the service members no matter what. However, that's not enough for the liberals to attack her with every chance they get. But, Melania is proof that immigrants who enter a country legally are proud citizens who appreciate America and the military. Breaking: James Comey's personal leaker unmasked. Another day in the swamp, another alleged leaker exposed. First Anthony Scaramucci came in and got rid of one White House leaker, and now it seems Jeff Sessions and his Department of Justice is hot on the trails on another, and this one is big. The big fish, if you will, and what could be James Comey's hand-picked leaker. Advertisement: sure, after he was fired, James Comey had a different leaker for his dirty deeds, an old law school chum. But what was going on when he was at the FBI? Who was doing all that leaking? We want to know, but more importantly Trump wants to know. Add to the intrigue is an explosive new report from Circa, and they are naming names. Advertisement: according to them, FBI General Counsel James Baker is allegedly under investigation by the Justice Department for leaking classified national security information to the media. This is a high-profile employee of the FBI, as high as you get, and it is hard to imagine that if these charges are true he did so of his own volition. Sarah A. Carter is a national and international award-winning journalist and writes for many new outlets including Circa. She is well known for breaking many high-profile stories since President Trump took office and has shamed the liberal media into reporting them after they turn out to be true. She claims to have multiple government officials close to the probe, who spoke on the condition they not be identified, and said a top FBI lawyer is allegedly under an investigation for leaking classified information. She writes, FBI General Counsel James A. Baker is purportedly under a Department of Justice criminal investigation for allegedly leaking classified national security information to the media. Baker is a close confidant of former FBI Director James Comey, and he was reportedly advising the then FBI Director on legal matters following private meetings the former director had in February with President Trump in the Oval Office. Share this if you believe we finally plugged. Mike Huckabee discovers easy way for Trump to fix John McCain's treachery. John McCain flew in from an Arizona hospital to cast a key vote to get the Obamacare repeal bill on the Senate floor for a debate. This was a good sign that the Republicans had the numbers and would finally push through their much-awaited repeal in replace of the dreaded Obamacare advertisement, but something unexpected happened on the way to the future. John McCain pulled a fast one, a sneak attack against President Trump and the will of the voters. As the debate raged on, first Mike Pence tried to get John to cast the vote their way, then President Trump got on the phone and tried to get John to reason, and then it was Mitch McConnell. All failed to persuade the maverick, and he dramatically, a little too dramatically, and embraced his inner showboat and turned a thumbs down on 8 years of promises and on a big win for Trump. Advertisement, he cast the deciding vote, and that is all she wrote. This is clearly a disappointing moment, Mitch said. I regret that our efforts were simply not enough this time. Now, I imagine many of our colleagues on the other side are celebrating. Probably pretty happy about all this. But the American people are hurting, and they need relief. But Mike Huckabee discovered an easy way to solve the treachery of John McCain and the 2 other GOP senators who betrayed Trump. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is now calling for a repeal of the 17th Amendment. This would totally change the way senators are elected, and would make sure McCain betrayal was the last time. The amendment, ratified in 1913, set up the popular election of senators, who before that had been elected by state legislatures.